Good morning. So this morning, real quick, just going to go through what happened with the bullish natural gas inventory number. The market was expecting a draw of 54 billion cubic feet, and what we got was 59. So that's 5 billion cubic feet. That's bullish by about 0.7 BCF a day versus expectation. Now, obviously, because we've had such warm weather, that's less draw than you might expect to see at this time of the year. But generally speaking, what's more important is what the expectation of the draw was versus what it actually was. Okay. So so much of trading has to come back to expectations. The weather that this is reporting on was in the forecasts 3 to 4 weeks ago, right? So that weather, that warmness was baked into this market nearly a month ago. What matters is here's what the market thought and here's what happened. So that was bullish by 0.7 BCF a day. Actually, by some metrics, it's actually significantly more bullish than that. If we look at, I have this spreadsheet that that measures via prior years. Wow, that was hard to get out. Prior years, if you had comparable HDDs, there's a regression. And the idea is, okay, let's compare year over year, because every week there's differences, right? But there's similarities between weeks in different years. So it looks at the past 5 years. It says, compared to the heating degree days that were in those years and the droughts that were in those years, what would we expect this year? And it just based purely on degree days for this week of the year, we would have expected a draw of 24 billion cubic feet. Instead, we got 59. So that's 35 billion cubic feet more than expected by this method. Okay, that's 5 BCF a day. So that's a truly monstrous number. And you can see that this blue line, the more it goes down, the more bullish it is. So that's kind of, we're actually restarting a bullish trend if this sticks. Okay, so that puts me back into the kind of the net bullish category. And so we should be buying, right? Well, hold on, because what did the market do? Let's take a look. Here's the inventory report. Boom, knee-jerk reaction, buying. Okay, that's good. But then right after that, all of this selling occurred. So what that tells you is that the market could care less. And on an hourly basis, we closed beneath the 50-hour moving average. So that's a clear sign of ambivalence in the market saying, hey, with the weather this warm, I just can't get excited about natural gas. So I take that as evidence that we'll see more price weakness, more vol weakness. So it's a great time to be selling natural gas calls. This is an example of where you have to be nimble as a trader. You can have all these ideas, but really you have to just track what's going on with the market. Prior to the inventory report, the price setup was actually pretty attractive. We closed above the 50-hour moving average. We then had 2 tests off the 50-hour moving average that were rejected. Those are buy tails. Those are that would normally be a good setup for a launch higher in price, but that's not what happened. Now we are working our way higher, so it could, another interpretation, right? You always have to have multiple interpretations. Another interpretation was that this sell-off was just the last kind of gasp of bearish impulse, and that now we kind of worked that off, and the market's going to start looking at the world through fresh eyes. If that's the case, then we should see the market working higher, because, as I've said in previous casts, we can't really get more bearish weather than this, unless it just extends. That would be, that case would be if it keeps extending out. And then this was a very bullish inventory report. So if that's the case, then we should see price moving higher. We should close this next hour above the 50-hour moving average. And I guess I wouldn't get excited until, we're closing periods up in this 384.5 area. But until proven otherwise, I'm taking this as a bearish sign, good time to be on the sidelines, or or even selling calls or selling natural gas. All right, that's all for today. That's all for this morning. I'll have a market report this afternoon. Thanks a lot.